Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido o bienvenida a esta lección. Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about having a growth versus fixed mindset. Now, a while back I had read a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And in the book, she essentially talks about how all the most successful people in the world have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. So in today's lesson, we're going to take a look at the difference between the two and how they apply to learning Spanish. Okay, sin más preámbulo, vamos a darle. First off, we're going to take a look at the fixed mindset. Now, this is what you do not want to be doing, which is why it's in red. Someone who has a fixed mindset avoids challenges, okay? Right? Instead of taking the easy road, we need to be taking the maybe more difficult road. The road that takes a little bit more effort, okay? So we want to challenge ourselves because that is how we grow, right? And when we challenge ourselves and we put ourselves outside of our comfort zone, that helps us to grow because we make mistakes and we learn from them. Next, the fixed mindset person ignores feedback, okay? This is hugely important, especially in the language learning space. If you make an error, you have to own up to it and accept that criticism. You have to listen to that feedback so you can say, oh, okay, I would use cuál versus qué in that situation. Okay, thank you for telling me that. Okay, so make sure that you're accepting feedback. Okay. Someone who has a fixed mindset is threatened by others' success. And unfortunately, I see this a lot in the language learning space, right? You may look at my videos and say, wow, Nate speaks really good Spanish. I wish I spoke as good as Spanish as him. Not trying to toot my own horn, but I want to be an inspiration to you. I don't want to, make you see my videos and say, oh, man, my Spanish is never going to be as good as his, okay? That is the exact opposite of what you should be thinking. You should be thinking, wow, here's a guy who's a foreigner, just like me. He learned Spanish as a second language, and he can speak the language really well. I'm inspired by that, okay? As opposed to being threatened by it, okay? I think a huge thing, that distinguishes the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset is the ego plays a huge part in the fixed mindset. Having a big ego is going to really, really inhibit your learning. So that's a really big thing to be aware of. Someone who has a fixed mindset desires to look smart, okay? The reality is when you're learning Spanish, you're going to look dumb, okay? It's just straight up facts, okay? You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to look silly. And that's completely normal, okay? And as opposed to feeling like, oh man, I'm so embarrassed I'd never want to speak to anyone again, okay? It should be the exact opposite. Say, wow, oh my gosh, I just made a total fool of myself, but I learned a lot by doing that, okay? So someone who has a fixed mindset wants to look smart. Don't worry about looking smart, okay? You're going to look dumb. That's just reality. And finally, someone who has a fixed mindset gives up easily. Now, I was speaking once with a CEO of a language company, and he was saying to me that the dropout rate in the language learning niche is higher than that of people who drop out of gym memberships. That is insane, okay? So this is a huge one, okay? Someone who gives up easily has a fixed mindset. You need to change your mindset from short-term to long-term, okay? I'm going to tell you a harsh reality, and that is learning Spanish is a forever ongoing process, okay? It's not like one day you're going to be like, cool, my Spanish is perfect, I never have to practice again. That is not the case, okay? You will be learning Spanish forever. I am still learning Spanish, okay? Soak that in, all right? So relax, have fun, and play the long-term game, okay? Great. Now let's take a look at the growth mindset. All right, make sure you can see the whiteboard over here. Perfect. So someone who has a growth mindset perseveres in the face of failures, like we talked about, okay? You got to be making mistakes, and as opposed to getting discouraged by those mistakes, you say, hey, I learned from that mistake, okay? You persevere in the face of embarrassing yourself, okay? Effort is required to build new skills. Now, as we all know, learning a language is not a cakewalk, okay? It takes time and it takes effort. Something I noticed that a lot of Spanish students struggle with is this idea of memorizing as opposed to understanding, okay? You need to put in effort to understand the material that you're learning, okay? As opposed to just memorizing certain words and phrases, okay? By understanding the actual framework of the language, you're going to be way better off down the line as you get into more advanced language concepts. This is why I am a huge fan of learning grammar, because while it's not the most sexy and not the most fun, it is hugely important if you really do want to speak the language at a more advanced level, okay? Next, finds inspiration in others' success, okay? So as opposed to you saying, oh my gosh, that one guy, his Spanish is so good. I'm never going to be as good as him. Okay? You say, wow, this is so awesome. This guy speaks really good Spanish. I can do that. Okay? You're inspired by someone who's successful. Sorry for the rubbed up thing here, but like I said earlier, accepting criticism, that's hugely important. And in fact, I remember when I was first learning the language, I would force my friends, I would literally tell them, hey, every single time we speak Spanish, if I make a mistake, I want you to interrupt me and tell me what I said wrong, okay? I don't care if you're interrupting me. I need to know so that I learn. I noticed that a lot of the times when people are learning or practicing with native speakers don't correct other people, which honestly it makes sense. They're not trying to be rude, but just let people know, hey, I want you to correct my mistakes, okay? Please. I don't think you're being critical or harsh or anything. Like, this is really going to help me learn. And that's what I used to do all the time, okay? So accept that criticism, right? Take feedback, lose the ego, okay? And just soak up as much knowledge as possible, okay? Really have that open mindset as opposed to the closed mindset, okay? All right, so there you have it, okay? I talk about this a lot, but so many students oftentimes don't struggle with the technical sides of the language, okay? While, of course, there are many grammar concepts and whatnot in the Spanish language that are tough, a lot of times students honestly just struggle with a lot of almost emotional stuff, motivational stuff, okay? Just getting caught up in their head and, oh, I'm not good enough and what have you, okay? But by having this growth mindset here, you can change that, okay? It really is a long-term game. So sit back, relax, buckle your seatbelt, and enjoy the ride. Bueno, muchas gracias por ver esta lección. Espero que te haya gustado. Muchas gracias de nuevo y que tengas muy bonito día. Adiós.